Presidential race is heating up after a busy weekend for Republican candidates.
Political analyst Tom Serafin here with us. Tom, how you doing?
Okay, good. Good morning.
So this is getting much more interesting as each day goes by. We want to talk about who's in, who's out. Rick Perry's in, Pawlenty's out, and now you've got Mitt Romney still the front runner, but anything could happen, I suppose.
Well, it's just like in golf. It's the new leaderboard this morning. You've got Governor Romney, who was not part of the process over the weekend in Iowa. He's skipping that because he's been through that process last time he ran.
Right.
Now you got Governor Perry from Texas, who's out there, and you got Michelle Bachmann. Those are the top three: Perry, Bachmann, the two governors, and the congresswoman from Minnesota. So it's it's going to be a Donnybrook.
Absolutely. Now, the straw poll over the weekend, Michelle Bachmann wins that in Iowa. How significant is that? And that alone, does that catapults her into the top tier, I guess?
Right. It puts her in a position where we all talk about her, which is good for her candidacy. But, there's still a long way to go. We're not even in spring training yet in the Iowa caucuses. So there's a long way to go, but she's part of the process. 6 weeks ago, people said, well, she was kind of a person that, you can watch her, but she's not going anywhere. She surprised a lot. Ron Paul, the congressman, also surprised a lot of people. He only fell less than 200 votes behind her, 28%. She had 29%, I think it was.
Talk about Rick Perry, the candidate. I think a lot of people talk about his jobs record. More than 40% of the jobs created across the nation were in the state of Texas. There are lots of ways of looking at that. He's also a deeply religious man, which I think brings people in and also turns people away, this whole church and state thing. What do you think about him, Tom, as an overall candidate?
Well, he brings the Republican Party back a little bit closer to the middle. The religiosity, I think people are concerned about. But in his state, in the last 5 years, 40% of all the new jobs in this country have been created. Now, the Democrats are already concerned about him. Dave Axelrod last week, the president's media handler, and also Debbie Wasserman, who runs the Democratic Party, over the weekend, starting to talk about how Governor Perry really hasn't done the kind of job people say he has. But, the other governors in the state believe a great deal in him. He runs the governor's conference. He's very good on the stump. Last night in Waterloo, Iowa, where Michelle Bachmann was born, she and he went head-to-head on the podium. He did the best job in working the audience, and even the national media are waking up this morning saying, Governor Perry, he might be for real. Might be for real.
On the flip side, just wanted to get your thought on this quickly. The new Gallup tracking poll today, just released over the weekend, President Obama at an all-time low of 39% in terms of approval. If you're a Democratic operative, does that worry you? How concerning is that?
Oh, yeah. That's a solar shot in the solar plexus. And he embarks today on a three-state swing. Yeah. He starts off in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, with a town hall meeting tonight. Then he comes to Atkinson, Illinois, then Alpha, Illinois, which are near the Quad Cities, where all the national media have gathered near Iowa. So he's going to have a big audience. He's got to feel the pain. Remember what Bill Clinton did so well when he was president? He felt the pain. He could feel your pain. He didn't have answers for the pain, but he could feel the pain. The president now getting out of Washington, not worrying about Republicans, now worried about the voters. That's where his problem is. Independent voters. 55% of those people that have been polled don't want to re-elect him as independent voters. Those are tough numbers today.
And there is a lot of pain. Very quickly, Tom, before we let you go, Sarah Palin, is there room for her in the race? She's, back and forth. We don't know. Is she going to be in or out? What's happening?
Well, the national media, which hasn't really liked Sarah Palin in the past, they said this morning, they're saying this morning in the newspapers around the country, she did the best job in Iowa. She did the best jobs in Ames at the state fair. So there's room for her, but she's got to get in quickly. The next debate is September 7th at the Reagan Library. She has to be there if she's going to be in this race. Okay. But she certainly did a nice job. She looked good. She looked sharp. She came to Dixon, Illinois. She went to Springfield, and then she went back home to Phoenix.
She's a skilled campaigner, no doubt about it.
And she's getting better at it, and she's not afraid to deal with the media, as she was at one time. And the media is learning to respect her more. I don't think she's going to go, but if she does,